Ecological Orchard Care. Hi, my name is Deja Morgan, and I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator at Philly Orchard Project. Where should I plant my orchard? At POP, we like to view orchards as ecosystems. This means in each orchard management decision we make, we think about how the whole ecosystem is affected. Let's talk about holistic or whole system approaches we can incorporate into the orchard design in establishing healthy populations of insect allies and during monthly work days to prevent the need for complicated spray regimens and other major interventions. When deciding where to put your orchard, you should pay attention to several things. You want to make sure there's good water drainage, decent airflow, and plenty of sunlight. A lack of any of these things can increase disease pressures. You should also pay close attention to soil health. Cultivating soil health is the #1 strategy in preventative care, since the healthier your soils, the more resilient your plants will be to pest and disease. Soil health can be cultivated by adding compost, sheet mulching, and companion planting, among other things. A soil test should be done periodically to check on soil health, and proper amendments added where recommended to ensure balanced nutrition for your crops. Companion planting. When POP plants orchards, we don't just plant trees, but we include a whole understory of perennial flowers and herbs that continuously bloom from spring to fall. We specifically include perennials of different colors, heights, shapes, smells, and bloom times. We do this to attract and provide a stable habitat for pollinators, predatory and parasitic insects that control pest populations, which reduces pest damage and mitigates the need for sprays. The understory can also act as a ground cover, decreasing weed pressure, green manure adding fertility to the soil, or living mulch reducing water stress. In short, the understory can add additional layers of food, medicine, and beauty to the orchard. Adding natural predators. After establishing a stable habitat within your orchard, you want to attract or add natural predators to the space. Ladybugs or lady beetles are especially adept at controlling aphid populations. However, after their food source is depleted, lady beetles often leave the site. Because of this and the questionable harvesting practices of lady beetles, we don't generally recommend buying and releasing them into your orchard. We love to see them in our orchards, but don't feel it's worthwhile to release them. Praying mantises are fierce predators, but they will eat both pests and beneficial insects, so their effect is mostly neutral. We do recommend releasing the Trichogamma Wasp into your orchard. These tiny parasitic wasps do not sting people. They lay their eggs within moth eggs, turning the moth eggs black and preventing the egg from hatching into a caterpillar. Moths are some of the most common pests in orchards, so this is extremely beneficial in controlling pest populations. With appropriate habitat, it is possible to establish and support a healthy population of Trichogamma wasp in your orchard long term. Green lacewings are also great predators, both at larval and adult life stages. They attack aphids, mites, scale, and mealybugs. If any of these are issues in your orchard, we recommend releasing the lacewing to establish populations at your site. Once you establish a healthy insect population, the next step is to invite songbirds and bats to act as additional pollinators and insect predators. Bluebirds are especially good predators, eating moths, caterpillars, and larvae. Similarly, many species of bats are known to eat half their body weight in insects each night. By adding a bluebird or bat box to your orchard, you can offer them the shelter needed to take up residence. Seasonal care. In the winter, prune with pest and disease management in mind. Remove any dead or diseased-looking branches. Open up the tree to sunlight and airflow to more rapidly dry down the tree, making it less hospitable to fungal diseases. Fruit mummies, decayed fruit hanging on from the previous year, should also be removed, as they often harbor disease spores. The fruit mummies should be trashed, burned, or added to hot compost. Consider cultivating under your fruit trees or running chickens through your orchard space to reduce pest challenges for the coming year. In spring, consider applying holistic sprays like compost tea and neem oil. You should also be thinning your fruit on most pome and stone fruit, apples, pears, peaches, sometimes plums and apricots. It might feel counterintuitive to remove fruit, but it's very important that you do. Thinning improves fruit size, quality, and flavor, prevents branches from breaking from a heavy fruit load, and decreases the biennial fruiting habit of some fruit trees. When fruitlets are young, usually in June, thin down to 1 fruitlet per cluster, or about 4 to 6 inches between fruits, selecting for the healthiest looking fruitlet. This is also a chance to decrease pest and disease pressure by removing any fruit that looks diseased, misshapen, or shows signs of insect damage. Any infected fruitlets should be removed from the site, deeply buried, or added to hot compost. Throughout the summer and into the fall, make sure you have a clean orchard floor. As developing fruit becomes infected with pests or diseases, it will often abort and drop to the ground. It is important to quickly pick up and dispose of these fruits before larvae move into the ground or disease spores disperse. In the late fall, remove fallen leaves that may contain pathogens or help them decompose in place with an application of compost or compost tea. Monitoring. One of the biggest preventative measures you can take is to closely monitor your orchard. We recommend a weekly walkthrough of your orchard, observing and taking note of any deformity of leaves, marking on fruit, or changes in the bark. Pest and pathogen infestations start as small pockets and spread. If you don't catch things early, you could easily have a complete crop failure or disease pressures building to the point of needing major intervention. Some pests and diseases like borers and fire blight can even kill a tree if untreated. So catch things early by checking often. To help with proper identification, we've created Pop's Pest and Disease Guide for common fruits. After you have correctly identified your problem, you can check out other resources for the best practices on treatment, including Pop's website. We also recommend Rodale's Organic Gardener's Handbook of Natural Pest and Disease Control. The book goes over organic options for treating pests and disease issues for fruit, vegetables, and ornamentals. Recap. So to recap, holistic pest and disease management aims to build a balanced ecosystem that naturally prevents and controls pest and disease issues as they arise, decreasing their effect on our crops and lessening the need for intervention. A healthy orchard is pulsing with life from the soil to the treetops. It's a beautiful thing. Enjoy it.